Hey everybody, Robot here from Vespa Motorsport and ScooterWest.com here in San Diego, California. We got all things for your Vespa, whether you got a modern Vespa, a kind of modern Vespa like a Vespa LX, which is now a 10-year-old or older Vespa, but we got you covered. There's still a lot of cool accessories for your Vespa LX. So the Vespa LX range was made from about 2006 to around 2014. They did have the LXV, it went on a little bit later. Lots of accessories for them, specifically from FA Italia. If you're looking for the classic rack combination for a Vespa, you can't go wrong with both the rear folding rack and also the front folding rack. I'm going to show you how to install these two folding racks. If you're looking for these on the Scooter West web store, you can find the rear folding rack. It's LX24 FA, and it only comes in chrome. If you're looking for the front one, LX13 FA. The FA Italia products are all made in Italy. They're pretty decent quality chrome, fairly comparable to the original equipment racks. We do still have the original racks available for the LX, specifically the front. I think there's the original LX13 PA that we have available. It has a slight edge over chrome quality and fitment, but if you're looking for value, the FA Italia is a good compromise between a good value and good Italian quality accessories for your Vespa LX or S, even the S150. One little side note, the S150, I haven't really tested this with the horn cover. I think it will fit because the original Piaggio front rack won't work with the Vespa S, but I think this one does. So you're gonna only need some basic tools to install this. Number 2 and number 3 Phillips screwdriver, and I got a 10mm socket and a little swivel, kind of makes the job easier. You could use a ratchet as well. So first step, go ahead and open up your seat. Should know how to do that. Pull your pet carrier out. All right, so take a number 3 Phillips. You could, in a pinch, a number 2 works just as well for the center M6 screw. It's kind of a nice long screw. Pulls right out like such. If you're sitting on a scooter, the right rearmost of these 4 screws is going to be a slightly different screw. It's going to be a shorter or a flat-headed, not have a sharp tip on the end, so just keep that in mind. And these 3 remaining screws are the same. I'm going to try not to take the battery cover off. And that's that single screw that accesses your battery on the Vespa LX and S150. Go ahead and remove those 3 remaining screws. Go ahead and pull the fuel cap. Obviously, take note you have gasoline exposed, so go ahead and lift this up. And you kind of work it, I'm tipping it towards the side, kind of giving a rotation and then pulling up. You can see the fuse holder is still staying attached. That works just as well. The prior video I just did, I said remove that, not really necessary. On the standard grab rail, you're gonna have a single screw that holds this little chrome cover. Go ahead and set that aside because with the folding rack, you can actually reuse this little cover. If you have the Vespa S150 or Vespa S50, there's gonna be a sticker over these fasteners. Leave those in place. Cool thing about these is you can do stuff pretty quick, almost as fast as a power tool. You crack it open and then spin the screws right off. And the reason I left those rearmost fasteners so the rack doesn't just drop and drag down the bodywork of your scooter. These are going to have some star screws. The frontmost ones had a larger flat washer, and just be prepared when you have that last fastener that the rack's going to drop. Go ahead and take your folding rack pretty much just in the same reverse steps. So get that washer back in place. Of course, you can just line that right up. Probably easier to start with the rearmost fasteners. Sometimes you can struggle with these a little bit and they'll want to cross thread. And I haven't even broke out a tool yet. I'm kind of just getting everything started. Go ahead and spin them in. Now you could do your final little torquing right here. Same with the rearmost ones. Put that little chrome cover back in place. Once you have these, take care not to slip with your wrench or your screwdriver when you're tightening those. Just to show you one thing about this is the actual part where the seat actually latches. A lot of times when people break into the seat, they'll break this piece out. This is definitely replaceable. You can see the fuse holder is actually attached here. There's also, it's pretty important that this little metal thing is right here, because that kind of adds some extra structure to this whole thing. So kind of just pop it back in place. There's also this little tang on the back, and you kind of got to give it a little lift and then make sure it engages in the frame. I've seen several times where people miss that, and that little piece is actually sticking out. And this pretty much just reinstalls the same way as did on the grab rail. And same steps, just go ahead and put all the screws in place. Probably get that gas cap so you're not smelling gasoline fumes. And now you're all finished. Pretty straightforward, easy install. And you could go ahead and fold the racks down. There's actually brackets that we do sell that fix them in the down position. Folding rack's not the best solution if you're gonna ultimately put a top case on the scooter, because the top case hinge sometimes won't quite clear this higher upper bar right here. Sometimes it's possible. Some of the taller top cases, especially the aftermarket ones, you could fix this in the down position with a hose clamp and attach the base plate for an aftermarket top case. If you're going for an original Vespa top case, of course the flat rack's gonna be better, or you just plan on always having a top case on the rack. The flat rack's probably gonna be a better solution. But having the folding racks kind of gives you that classic look, and it's out of the way when you don't need it. All right, so now I'm gonna continue on and install the front rack, the Vespa okay, I'll try again. So now I'm gonna go ahead and install the FA Italia front rack. Scooter West part number again is LX13FA, only comes in chrome. You're gonna go ahead and detach this little hardware bag. Comes with the rack. And the first items you wanna locate are the pair of rubber boots, or I like to just call them suction pups, because that's kind of what they look like. Go ahead and put those right on the rack. We'll probably change the rotation of them once we hang the rack on the front of the scooter. So it's as simple as this. Just drop it right on the front. And you can see I don't have these in the right position, so go ahead and turn them until they're in a good spot. So it looks like something like about like that. So where they're kind of angled out. It's almost the best position. And they do have a little bit of give. Obviously you want to center things, kind of move it around so it looks fairly centered. And now you're wondering, how will this rack stay in place? You got this little bracket right here, and it also has a screw and a lock washer. So go ahead and drop that lock washer on that screw. So go ahead and locate the bracket along with the screw. It's a 5mm thread screw. And go ahead and drop that lock washer on there. So have your number 2 screwdriver ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and turn the steering to the far right. And go ahead and right in that area, you're gonna hook this right into the front of the bodywork there. So I'm kind of holding everything in place. It's pretty easy to cross thread this, so you may need to push down on the rack. Make sure you get a straight shot into this fastener here. There's like a little boss that's threaded. And go ahead and start threading the screw in. And you get some adjustability. You can kind of move things around, move this bracket around. Make sure the bracket stays hooked. And that's pretty much what holds the whole rack in place. So now you have a front folding rack. Pretty self-explanatory how that works. Folds down. You can actually rotate these to make it fit a little better. You could center things just a little bit better if you like. So there you go, front rack's all installed. And now we have the full folding rack setup on your Vespa LX. The best part about this front rack is really easy to remove, obviously just one screw once you get the hang of it. You could get this fitment a little bit better. It's possible to bend this bracket and kind of modify it. You could also put a little piece of rubber under there if you like. That's all optional steps. I'm just installing this with what's included with the rack itself. All right, so front rack, rear rack, perfect setup if you're going to the beach or going to the park for a picnic. Adds to the classic looks. It works great on this black, it's a Volcano black scooter with the sparkles, and you got the extra little sparkle of the chrome bright work on the scooter now. Pretty inexpensive upgrade for your Vespa LX. I'll see you on the next one. Robot here from Vespa Motorsport and ScooterWest.com.